In the regular world, Halloween is when children dress up in costumes and beg for candy. In girl world, Halloween is the one night a year when a girl can dress like a total slut and no other girls can say anything about it. The hardcore girls just wear lingerie and some form of animal ears.
Doesn't she look great, honey? What are you? I'm a mouse. Duh.
Ahoy, tent pirates, plant parents, conscious consumers, and the morbidly curious. Welcome to Cultivation Conversation, a podcast for growers by growers. Come chat with our hosts, Captain Autoflower, the Real Green Monster, and myself, Girl Go Grow. Grab a bouquet of your favorite flowers, apparatus of choice, and don't forget the fire while I tell you about the special companies that help keep this ship afloat. We're busy people, and we demand the best for our plants, so all three of us automate our grows with autopots. Available in over 63 countries, gravity-powered autopot systems rely on no pumps, no timers, and no power to operate. This plant-driven automated watering is so precise, it will reduce consumption of feed while increasing yield. An effective and efficient way to delegate a little responsibility. Let your plants feed themselves. Use code CC10 at autopot-usa.com. If quality is the name of your game, look no further than AC Infinity. AC Infinity's grow tents, lights, accessories, and ventilation systems offer reliability and affordability along with total environmental control. Use code CULTIVATION on acinfinity.com to save even more. Frass Valley produces the highest quality superworm frass. Naturally strengthen your plants and enhance their resistance to pests and disease. Use code CC10 at frassvalley.com. We are big fans of Mass Hydroponics. Whether you're a local in Massachusetts or accessing their full online catalog, they are your one-stop shop for all of your growing needs. Use code CC10 at mass-hydro.com.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
Heidi ho, neighbor.
Same show, different night. It is in fact a Wednesday, but if you're listening on a podcast, it doesn't really fucking matter.
Nope.
It's whatever day you want it to be.
That's right. In podcast land, days don't matter.
And we're gonna keep it like this way anyway. Wednesdays going forward.
Indeed. If you are joining live, and what's up everyone out there in the chat? I see Hank, I see Strong Island, I see KCMO Grow. Howdy everybody. Chime in if you're out there. But yeah, what up guys? What up?
It's good. Happy post-Halloween, everyone. Hope you got lots of candy.
Yeah, did you have trick-or-treaters? We didn't get too many here.
Really? I thought you had a lot in that neighborhood.
No, it's like they do like an organized thing, you know what I mean? Like a couple days before all the kids, but not too many. We got a few.
Yeah.
But
Have you heard of this phenomenon over the last few years called trunk or treat?
Yeah.
no.
It's like
I think it's the
safe
dumbest
trick-or-treating.
fucking thing ever, and it should be outlawed.
What is it?
It's where like instead of kids going to houses to like knock on doors and get candy, parents meet in like a parking lot and they have like candy in their trunk and you walk around the parking
Car
lot
to car. Yeah.
and go car
It's
to car.
usually organized by things like churches and
Yeah, cities are doing it now too though, and
things
it's
like
kind
that,
of
but it is spreading because it's a safe, controlled environment.
and they're like taking away Halloween from some kids because like they don't want to hurt other kids' feelings, and it's just like it's
feelings are hurt by Halloween.
because like their broke ass can't afford a Halloween costume or something. It's like, you know, get over yourself. Like just like there are going to be more kids. There are going to be kids with money and kids without. Like you kind of just know that growing up. Like I grew up poor, right? So
A little imagination, please, and thank you.
yeah, I
You
mean,
don't
come on,
need
this
money
is,
to make a house.
Dude, all you needed was a sheet.
it's just
You
a
had
sign of the
a
times,
white
man.
sheet, you were a ghost. You had a black sheet, you were a ninja.
You just can't offend anybody anymore, you know. And we do everything we can to protect the snowflakes from melting. It's a fucking joke.
I agree with that. Honestly, I think it has a lot to do with just like people not wanting to like send their kids door to door anymore. Like just people watch too much news.
And this is coming from somebody who I hate Halloween. I think I don't care for it. But I don't think we should be. I don't think we should be taking it away from kids and
Oh man.
this whole trunk or treat bullshit and yeah.
How about mischief night? You ever do that?
Yeah,
like
just
egg
go around
your
and cause
neighbors'
trouble.
houses, go toilet paper the trees. And
That's every night.
good old fashioned fun. But then, I mean, dude, Halloween, just like the couple years I spent like in college, maybe even in like high school and stuff, a couple years after college, it's like, whoa. Yeah, Halloween is just like a ridiculous holiday. An excuse to drink, get together with your friends, dress up as whatever the fuck you want. But like usually, I mean, G3, tell me that you were never like a slutty pumpkin for Halloween, please.
No.
No?
Take Halloween seriously.
Were you a slutty cat?
I was never a
A
slutty
slutty
anything.
witch? A slutty... Let's see.
No.
What are the other girl costumes? A slutty pirate. We always... no?
No.
Okay. No, I feel like you took it a little more seriously than that.
took it
And
very
just,
seriously. Yeah.
I picture you with like, if you're doing a zombie, you're going to have like the full, like you're going to have like gore.
Yeah,
like
in it
a
to
big
win it,
like
man.
cut on your face and shit. Yeah. That
Yeah,
kind
you
of-
got to remember, I grew up in the Halloween capital of the world, Salem, Massachusetts. So like I've seen it all, and
It's just supposed to be fun. The veil
Yeah.
is thin. Weird shit happens. It's spooky and, it's great.
There you go.
Load up on candy. Go have some fun with your friends.
I guess
Who doesn't like Halloween?
I used to like stealing my son's candy.
That's the best part.
Yeah, he
Apparently.
doesn't trick or treat no more though.
Well,
Now I've
more
got
candy
two
for
working
you.
for me out there.
Perfect.
Yep. Totally
Go to
works
work.
for me. Set those kids full tilt through the neighborhood. They came back with more than they knew what to do with.
Yeah, big
Pillowcases.
pillowcase full. Yeah, that's what you got to have.
Yep.
I mean, I remember when you upgraded from that like stupid plastic pumpkin thing you get when you're a kid to the real. We're going trick or treating. We need not one pillowcase but a backup pillowcase in your back pocket. Man, good times,
Good times.
real good times. So, what are you guys smoking on tonight?
I just got through puffing on a little bit of that prayer glue. Puffed on. I've been on a joint kick lately. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rolling your own, stuffing cones.
Either or, but I prefer the cones. Just burns so much easier.
It does. It does. And once you get kind of the art down to stuffing them, it's pretty easy.
It's all about the first pack, really, and then you just don't want to overpack them.
Gotta get that right pressure.
If you overpack them, they bow. They don't smoke well.
Very true.
And it's easy to do that. So just get that nice first pack down, nice and tight, not too tight. Otherwise, it won't smoke either. But you get used to it. Look, I used to be completely against them, and then a friend of mine left a box in my house, kind of insisted I use them, and I haven't looked back. I still roll joints, but I much rather prefer the cone.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like cones. I can't roll. I suck at it.
No.
Always
Me
have.
too.
Always will. I've accepted that flaw in myself, and I've moved on. Cones it is.
At least I'm not the only one. What do you got, G3?
I'm trying to remember what this is. I think it's Blues Rosso, but I'm not sure.
Nice. That's what I got too. Great minds think alike.
Ooh.
I love it. Is that some of the one I gave you? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
It's like almost the very last of it. I had a jar all the way back in my pie sleeve, and I didn't know it was there. And I found it like 2 weeks ago, and it's like probably the 2 or 3 last little bits of it. So yeah,
It's a good
one
one.
for tonight.
It's definitely one I've been savoring.
It does make me
Yeah.
dumb though,
Ooh,
but
yeah, definitely.
it's beautiful. She's fun. She tastes great. Yeah, she's
Definitely makes
super
me dumb.
blueberry, but makes me dumb.
Makes me real dumb. It's just like it, and it's so much different than everything else that I have in my stash right now. Like honestly, it's like when you want to throw your cannabinoid receptors a curveball, I reach for the Blues Rosso because it just like has a different, like, it's the chem, you know what I mean? It's that chem. There's something about those chem strains really does it for me, I think. And shout out to Alabrije, our buddy. I think he had another successful drop.
He did.
with
Congrats.
his
Purple Pantarania.
Yep. Which yours looks fucking incredible, by the way. I have to say.
Thank you.
Like,
She is a
bravo.
star. Thank you,
Bravo.
thank you.
Congrats.
That's all like good genetics and autopots. I just chuck her in there and leave her be. She did that all on her own. She is scaring the ever-loving hell out of me, though, because that cola is like a good 5 to 6 inches across at the bottom and just so dense that I have to like pull buds down and make sure they're not right up against each other. And she has 2 fans. all of hers directly on her.
Cool. No, that'll...
Gonna make it to the end. We're gonna make it to the end. But yeah, I'm excited. She smells beautiful.
Absolutely. No, it's really, it's an absolute stunner of a plant. You guys need to go take yourselves over to G3's Instagram page, or come over to our Discord where she has posted many a picture of it. But yeah, wow, one of the nicest looking autos I've seen like in a long time. So
Thank you. That
very
means
well
a
done,
lot, sir.
Very well done.
I appreciate it. Yeah. She was fun to
I
grow.
cannot
too.
wait to have a sample of the finished work. I must say.
I mean, that was like the whole purpose. I was given a mission.
Well, now I want to
I
grow the
intend to
damn
fulfill
thing.
that mission.
Now I'm definitely growing the damn thing. I mean, I think I got a bunch of autos coming next, I think, but you know, high humidity, like you mentioned, keep that in the back of your head, guys. Keep that in the back of your head. I think that's an issue that's going to be brought up again. Because, yeah, I mean, holy fuck, I don't know if you've seen my tent lately, but it is, like, I have overgrown...
Jungle.
I have overgrown... What do they say? Overgrow the government? But I've overgrown my home grow tent. It is not a good situation. Well, like, you know, good is all relative. It's good. I'll have plenty of weed. Like, should I make it to the finish line? Like, that's really like the part that has me a little concerned. I mean, it is very, very crazy in there. You know, from the windows to the walls to the condensation drips down my balls. But so like, you know.
Can you even see the stuff at the back? Like, how much? What
no.
percentage of your plants do you think you can actually see and interact with?
It's a good question. Maybe 70% of like the good, you know, the tops really, I consider the tops are like the first foot down into the canopy, maybe 1.5 feet, you know, with those bar style LEDs. You get good penetration, but not great. So, I mean, as tall as the plants are, I've lollipopped the hell out of them. And it's like, I'm just trying to get
a favor with that one.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get much larf, but like, they're literally 3 inches below the lights. I've super cropped almost every branch multiple times. I can't, you know, it's even looking now, but like lots lots of bent branches.
Man,
How far
I've been
along are
waiting
you?
for this for weeks.
I'm 5
knew you were
weeks.
gonna
Yeah,
do
dude.
this to yourself.
I knew I would
At
too.
least
Like,
they're
I'm-
done stretching.
They're done stretching, and they're like finally the stems are like solidifying a little bit. You know, they're getting hard, waiting to stack those flowers on them, right? But
All your bends look good. They're knuckling up nicely.
the bends are what they are at this point. Like, yeah, I could have done some better, and you know how like what you want really is for them to go down and then they kind of shoot back up. But like, then you get along that whole bend is really what becomes like a whole top. So I don't know. It's not the prettiest technique, and it really is just kind of like a last minute, like, oh fuck, I need to do something here. But it's effective. It's effective as fuck. Like, these tops look amazing, even though they're right below the lights. These things the lights stay so cool that it's only a problem if they're literally like touching the LED. So
Yay, technology.
it's just like humidity, right? Humidity is the thing I am concerned about. Despite all the airflow, you know, we have, you know, what do you want to call them? Donkey dicks, baby arms, fucking those
Insert analogy here.
those double helix type
Yeah.
cola
The
structures.
chunks. The big old chunky babies.
Chunks. And like a whole tent full of them. So really, my humidity when I'm walking into the room right now, okay, if I'm being honest, is like 70% in the tent. 72. You know, I have my exhaust fan set to be well below that, so it's always on.
If you look at a VVD chart, you're not that bad.
It's
You're
not that
actually
bad
pretty good.
for veg, but for flower, man, anything over 70 has me concerned.
Especially in our part of the country. Especially this time of year.
Are you regulating your temps?
You know, as much as I can within reason. Like we're working with the environment now. I've shut off the AC. The DHU is hardly working. I think I'm still exhausting out the window, but like once it gets real cold, I close that and I just exhaust right back into the grow room, you know, keep the heat in. But like, there's still, despite my T6 set to, I think it kicks on at like 65% maybe a little lower, 62%. So the thing's always on, just trying to exhaust, and it never gets below.
What do you think it gets at night?
I mean, I've looked at it. It gets up to like 75, dude. Like truly. Sometimes, like I've seen it at the same as my temperature, like 80. It's been 80 before. Okay, that's too much. Yeah. Humidity.
What are your temps right now?
So right now they are probably hovering around 80, and the
And that's
humidity
just due to
outside
your house
dropped.
and the light. Do you have any heaters or
Yeah.
anything running in there?
Right now there is a little space heater, but it's not. It's set to kick on if it needs to, but it hasn't. Like, it hasn't really
Right,
kicked on.
because it's 80 degrees in there.
Yeah. So, you know, things like the environment is, everything is all right except the humidity. And like, I don't want to worry about any kind of bud rot, PM, you know, like there's just a harvest killer, man. Truly. And
It's just so much plant material. There's not much you can do about it, is there? Start stripping leaves.
I mean, that's one thing we could do, right? Defoliate the hell out of our plants, right? Like I mentioned how I lollipopped them.
Lollipopping, yeah, that was definitely.
And I probably took them up to like 2/3 of the way up each leg, you know?
And you used super clean clippers, and you sanitized between.
Yes, I learned that lesson. For sure. So like, I've defoliated, you know, I've tried to adjust my environment in a lot of other ways. I think where we're at now is that I need to rely on more than just passive air intake in my tent.
Okay.
Like I need to pull air in from my lung room that I know that's what I'm regulating. That's where my DHU is. I know that air is at like 50% humidity, maybe even lower, 45%.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I need to bring that shit in to my grow tent in a just a more consistent and flowing manner.
Dare you say active way?
I think that's the key word, right? We need active intake at this point, right? So, like, our humidity is too high. We've tried a couple other methods. It's not working. This is a thing we can do, right? This is a thing we can all do to, like, really... I think it'll be the solution to the problem. I think we've mentioned it before.
Yeah, I mean, I would get that thing as close to your dehumidifier as possible and have it intake that warm, less humid air.
What, like the intake for the fan that I'm going to use?
Yeah,
Yep.
have your DHU blow the dehumidified air directly into your intake. Might have to screw with your temps a little bit, but your humidity will definitely drop. I actually took a cardboard box and like duct taped it around the outside of the like where the fan blows for my dehumidifier, and then ran 6-inch ducting to one of my intake ports. And that's how I handle that in both grow and dry is how I handle my humidity.
So like you're taking the dehumidified air and bringing it to where you need it to be.
Tent.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I
Through
mean,
some ducting.
if you could even put that dehu inside like a tent itself and set it real low, all that hot dehumidified air, and then suck it right into your room.
All right, now question.
My dehumidifier is too big. It's like a gigantic basement size one. If anybody tries those like tiny bathroom dehumidifier things, they don't work. If you think you can fit a dehumidifier in your tent in like a 4x4, you are kidding yourself. Get a lung room.
Yeah, no, like if you need a DHU, you need a DHU. There's no way around it, and you need to get like a 70 pint DHU off Amazon, even a 50 pint, one that has like a valve in the back, that you can drain with a hose into a bucket or something larger that the thing will fill up in a fucking day if it's really working.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I have it pulled inside tents, if I want something to drop, it'll pull the even lower air from outside and then just pump it right in.
Well, so here's my question. I mean, you're just relying on like the fan inside the DHU then to blow that air through ducting and into your, or you could activate that and add a fucking, you got a spare 4-inch duct fan laying around? Mm-hmm. Help that air out, man. Help that air out. Throw a little like, I think a lot of us do probably have spare inline fans laying around. I know I do. So
any type of fan will work. Shit. If it moves air, it'll work. You got a box fan.
A box fan will work. All right, fair enough.
Put it next to your intake. Blow air in. Okay, there you go. You got active intake.
It
could be that simple, and it could be
as that simple.
Controlled as you want it to be.
It's active in quotation marks. Like it's a scale of active. I don't know. It's.
Yeah, so, it could fit directly into your ports. It could be way big. You could put a blanket over a box fan and just blow it into one of your port sites or something. It's so easy to do, but you won't have a whole lot of control that way, especially if your environment or your lung room isn't controlled. You're really
Yeah, I think most of us are controlling our lung rooms, though. So it's just like if we can bring that air in better and more consistently, it's going to help us out. But yeah, I have. How do we incorporate carbon filters into this now? Do we? I mean, I assume like if you're bringing in air now, and like the whole equation is off to me now. You're bringing air into the tent actively. Do we have to change the settings at all on our outtake fan to
No, you just want
this?
you just want your exhaust stronger than your intake.
Exhaust stronger than intake, like always on.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I mean,
like
it's the way to do it if you want to make sure that you're not going to lose carbon filtration. Because otherwise, you're just shoving more air into the tent that's then going to shove out through the vent on carbon filter.
Yeah. That's kind of where my brain's going. Is like, all right, well, I want to still have negative pressure, you know, because I don't want the smell to kind of like seep out. I'm in prohibition.
Yeah, you might have to overcompensate a little bit, turn your exhaust up higher because you're going to be introducing, positive pressure with the active intake.
All right, word. Yeah, that's definitely something to think about. And yeah, if you have, then of course, like, carbon filter.
You could always throw a carbon filter on the end of it, and all the air that sucks through that intake would be carbon filtered, which wouldn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Or
2-layer carbon filtration.
Yeah, dual layer, so a carbon filter on the intake and outtake.
It's a little much. Then you're kind of choking things a little bit, I think.
We do like just a HEPA filter, like a screen filter on the intake.
Yeah, I mean,
we've talked.
That's
about
generally
that.
what I do. Is I have those little circular 8-inch filters. Cut a hole in a tote, throw it in there. There's your active intake.
Yeah, no.
If you refuse to use a filter, even use like some pantyhose or something like that. Don't
Yeah, you want
sucking
some sort of
random
filter
shit into your tent.
No, you definitely want some sort of filter.
Definitely,
pantyhose works great
for sure. It helps if you have pets.
Yeah, it's
absolutely
already bad enough. Cat hair everywhere.
For sure. So all right, like carbon filter on the end of this. We're not putting one on the intake. We are putting one on the outtake.
Exhaust.
The exhaust. All right. And we're ramping up our exhaust fan to compensate for the active intake.
If needed. I mean, you'll know if you don't have negative pressure just by looking at the walls of your tent.
True.
Yeah.
True.
If it looks like Violet Beauregard, you need to drain her.
Yeah, right. Get that blueberry juice out. Well, all right. I mean, I don't really have like such a great, segue, but speaking of carbon filters, I did want to show off my new one, which I got today from, our friends over at AC. This one's cool. It's the refillable 6-inch. I'm going to install it after the show and put a fucking active intake in my tent. Like, it's literally why we're talking about it now, because I need to remind myself how to do it.
I wonder if there's anything different between that and the regular filters besides the fact that it's not riveted shut.
Honestly, I don't have their... Like, I have a Vivo Sun. It was my old carbon filter. I mean, it really seems very similar. I mean, other than this one being like a nice matte black finish, and I think it came full. Like, I'm honestly not sure.
You can hear it if you shake it.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you guys could tell me, because it did come with like the refillable carbon too. But like, I don't know if I have to do it.
Really.
Two.
Say it again?
They're not going to give you 2 filters basically for the price of one, right? So my money's on it's empty. Why is it open?
So I have to do work to make it like funk? That's... I don't know.
Charge them more and make them do the work.
I don't know. We'll find out. But like, so thing was heavy as fuck, like honestly, in the box. And I do have to give them credit, okay? I specifically requested discreet shipping, okay?
This is important if you live in prohibition land or anywhere where you don't want your neighbors, family members, etc. seeing cannabis leaves all over your packaging, as they are known for this.
Correct.
So,
or even just a fucking
very smart.
Like it's a carbon filter. AC Infinity 6-inch carbon filter. Like,
Yeah.
you know, just like, I don't need that shit showing up on my doorstep. I don't. So I asked, you know, big letters, discreet shipping. And I'm happy to report that, like, they put their box inside of another bigger box that was sealed, it just, you know, nondescript.
Beautiful.
And,
Bravo,
yep,
AC
I'm
Infinity.
The way
very
everybody
happy.
should ship. Like, you know, Amazon thinks that they're, you know, like doing themselves favors by advertising with this, but all they're doing is getting their packages stolen. Like, people see
Right.
Amazon packages and they fucking, especially like those padded blue and white envelopes. I swear
Oh
to God,
yeah,
man.
yeah, they get taken all the time, man, because they know
Yeah.
it's like some technology or some, like, I don't know, something they can steal.
Yeah. Easy to take,
iPhone
you know?
case,
Yeah.
something or other, man. But so yeah, I'm happy enough with the way it came. Like, I and believe me, I was gonna make a fucking fit. I was gonna throw a fucking fit if the thing didn't come discreetly. Like, I've gotten packages from them before, like G3 said, with, you know, they're branding all over it and it's got pot leaves everywhere, and it's just like, dude, like, come on, do you not understand your fucking customer base here? Like, so
Oh, look. High Times Garden says that the website, it says it comes full with one refill. That's awesome.
badass.
I did not expect that. to
I'm
tell you the
happy
truth.
about that, right? Yeah, it
job,
feels heavy. It
actually.
feels heavy, right? So I'm like, it makes sense.
Oh, if you want your own, use code Cultivation.
So,
10%.
like Monsta said, the only difference I really think in this compared to, like, the old Vivo Sun that I have upstairs, which I forget the episode, but we've talked about it. It caused an issue in my tent, like not exhausting properly, and it was from an old and clogged, maybe, carbon filter, which can be an issue. So replace them from time to time, or refill the carbon if you have one of these newfangled contraptions. But I think the point is, you can also, like, kind of DIY an old one with a little know-how.
How often should they be filled?
I'd say once a year, at least, depending on your situation. You know?
The least.
I do.
Yeah, once a year, I think, is a good go-to.
For sure. Maybe even every 2 flowering cycles.
Yeah, and look, for those of you who just have regular carbon filters, they're pretty easy to disassemble. When you take off the cover, you'll just flip it over. You'll see rivets in a circle holding the cover down. If you take your drill and drill right through the center of them, they'll pop right out. And then you just replace them with sheet metal screws. It's about as basic as DIY as you can get, and I think anybody can do it.
Fine.
I imagine this one just has sheet metal screws instead of rivets. So
Yeah.
you can open it up and get inside.
I'm assuming you'd go in from the top. You tell me.
I think either or, because it's just a cylinder within a cylinder. That's all they are.
Yeah, man. So if you were to try to crack open like an old Vivo Sun and refill it, like, can you get this carbon shit like somewhere? Can you buy, like, is this something you could get at like a pet store?
100%.
Outside of like the cannabis tax
Yep.
zone.
Aquarium
Yeah?
supplies. Yep.
Now
A lot of carbon.
is it virgin carbon?
Yeah, they all say the same thing. Australian virgin.
I know
carbon.
they do all say the same, man. They
Yeah.
always tell you they are, but how can you be sure?
Shaming carbon. How dare they?
Generally speaking, carbon's carbon.
How can you be so sure? No, I mean, so we could go to Petco, really?
Yeah,
And get
no,
that
I
shit?
wouldn't. No, I wouldn't Petco. No, you'll get ripped off there. You'll pay more for it there than you probably would through AC Infinity. But you just look up like aquarium supplies, like discount bulk aquarium supplies. I think Bulk Reef Supply is a company I used to use when I had a fish tank.
Cool.
Bought lots of carbon. Yeah.
That's badass. All right, well, if you're DIY minded, go for it. Maybe I'm gonna give it a whirl since I have this big
You
bag
could
of
even
carbon.
turn a shit filter into a good filter. The difference between carbon filters is the amount of carbon they're putting into these things. It's not the design of the filter. They're all the same. It's the amount of carbon that they're putting in. You can pick it up. Like, for instance, when I pick up an AC Infinity filter or a Fresh filter, it's no comparison. The Fresh filter weighs like 3 times as much.
Yeah. They're like $300. That's why.
But like when people ask me, hey, I need to cover up the scent. It's crucially important. That's the one filter I'll always recommend. They just work.
Word. Well, I guess I would say it is crucially important for me. If this one becomes an issue, I'll let you guys know, of course. But like, I have faith it'll do the trick. The Vivo Sun was doing the trick before it got clogged. Really.
The Vivo Sun carbon filters really ain't half bad, especially for the money.
Dude, I will say,
and I hate that company.
Hey, they've done like a little rebranding. Like, I know, like, we all know the stories about like their fans, about
I'd liken it to more lipstick on a pig, honestly. I don't think they've changed much.
Because I think, they reached out to some people in our community, I think. Shout out 420 Cannabis couple. And had a big spiel about, we're not the same company that burned people's grow houses down with faulty lights and fans. Really, give us another shot. Pretty please. But I don't know, man. Of course they'd say that.
They did seem to kind of go a little quiet.
They have a lot of new stuff too.
I haven't heard a whole lot. Like before, it was like, gosh, every other thing I heard was Vivo Sun.
Yeah, they got a lot of new shit. A lot of new shit, man.
Maybe the algorithm's just hiding it from me.
I will say, I had one of their 100-watt fixture in my hands. They sent it to me, and I sent it out to Brack. He won it on a show a while back.
Oh, yeah?
And it seemed high quality, honestly. It seemed pretty good. So, I don't know.
Maybe they took some customer feedback to heart, and they did a little R&D. They they fixed the faults, made their shit fireproof. Or as fireproof as possible. Yeah. Who knows? I'd give them another shot. But
I don't know.
I won't be looking for too much of their equipment.
I honestly, when I needed something, I went AC. Guilty. It's like the market out there, like you said. There's like the entry. I wouldn't call this an entry-level carbon filter. This may be a step or two above, but like it's not the Fresh filter, like you said. That's fucking pro tier.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though. It's like, I think you get what you pay for.
For sure.
How can you exactly fancy up carbon? Is it like a quality? What's the difference in quality of carbon?
I couldn't really tell you exactly.
I don't know, but the good shit they say is Australian virgin carbon.
Yeah.
Apparently it's all Australian and virgin.
You don't want none of that fucking American slut carbon.
I knew that was coming.
You don't want that American slut carbon.
You got the tramp stamp tattoo and everything, man. It's just, they've been around the block a few times and they just don't smell the same no mo.
Noted.
Terrible. Yeah, no, I honestly don't know. Like, I think they say that's what they use in all of it, I guess. Good shit, Australian virgin. Not that sullied and deflowered New Zealand charcoal. That's just not what we want. Oh man. All right, guys, so let's switch it up entirely. All right, I wanted to talk about our favorite strains, like whether we're talking growing, smoking, don't matter. So I'll go first, I guess. One of my, like, when I think back on my like history of smoking back in the day, right? Like, smoked a lot of weed, guys. And I never really quite knew what it was until, I don't know, the bags I was getting started having names sometime around the early 2000s, maybe, we'll say. And one of the first names that I remember in that realm was, of course, there was Blueberry, there was Sour Diesel, but there was Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue always stood out to me as, like, I don't know, my favorite one to get. I'd always look for it when I could, when I knew, people had it. Like, this one's particularly smelly. I was like, oh, maybe that one's Gorilla Glue. And you just know it when you get it. It's a certain distinct smell.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like nothing else. You know what? And if you've had it, you know it. It's very chemy, I would say, heavy on the chem, hence like the glue name, I would think. But like, man, it's Dispo too. Like if I go to the Dispo, I'll always grab a GG4. Just a classic for me.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
too.
Well, it hits hard, real GG4 hits hard. Has checks all the boxes, really. Tastes good, smells good, looks good, gets you fucked up. I mean,
Yeah, serious couch lock.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting up for a while. Get comfy.
Yeah, it gives me the munchies a lot.
It's
And
just like kind of classic stoner weed,
Mm-hmm. Classic stoner weed. That's the kind of shit that I like. I like a lot. And chemi too, like, which, is like the Blues Oroso that I'm smoking on now. It's very chemi. It just does it for me. So I don't know. Why don't you guys start like in that realm? Like, we're not even talking about growing, What's your favorite fucking strain of your past, maybe?
That's easy. Golden Goat.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. Always my go-to. She was just the first experience where I could actually like function better while high, and she's still got me super fucked up. You can't find her really anywhere, nor that I trust. But yes, Golden Goat. Love her, love her, love her, love her. It's hard to find. Worth it when you can.
Isn't that
I think Irie Genetics recontinued that project. So I think he had the Golden Goat female and found another plant that was completely different strain, but had similar structure, and bred the two together, and re-released it as that. So I would look into that.
All right. I'll check it out.
Yeah, shout out Rasta Jeff.
Yeah,
Isn't that him?
Yeah. Irie Genetics. Yep.
Cool. Well, and shout out Big Green Guy. I see you, man. He says White Widow. That's a classic too, Fucking classic.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going around here in Massachusetts too, back in like the late to early like 2000s. There's obviously somebody growing that shit around here, but there was a lot of it going around for a while. Like that was always like the top dog, at least around here for a while.
Hey, you sure it wasn't you? Positive?
Nope. Positive wasn't me.
Oh man. Well, so what? All right, let's back it up a sec. What about the Golden Goat G3? Like, is that a sativa dominant, narrow
Yeah,
leaf?
she was like a sativa leaning hybrid, I believe. But yeah, she makes my brain work normally. But still, like, she let me focus, really, I guess. She gave me that first real experience of, oh, I can be functional on this. So, yay. I liked her.
Cool.
I haven't had her in a long time, though. Like, years and years and years and years.
Shit, we could grow her now. Wouldn't that be cool? No, I've always GG4 is one that I've always just like, I've had my eye on, but it's one that it's clone only kind of thing. You're not going to really get the GG4 you're looking for unless you get the actual clone and that.
Yeah,
sort
good
of
luck
thing.
with that.
Yeah, and I'm more a seed guy too. So it's like I'm probably not ever going to grow it, but I do enjoy the hell out of it when I find it. Yeah, what about you, Monster? What's your
Chem dog.
strain of the
Chem
past?
dog. Yeah, chem dog all the way. It's elusive, and I've tried growing a couple of different chem strains, haven't really found something that like came close to like that chem dog we were smoking back in the day. But yeah, I love that nasty, funky shit that just kind of knocks you out, and
Yeah, dude.
you could like, it'd be one of those things you could smell it from like a mile away. Like, damn, somebody's got some chem dog on them here in this room,
Yeah. Now, is that one of the parents of the GG4?
I believe so. I'm terrible with cannabis lineage.
Like, they gotta be related, man. And again, like it's that chem. I think it's like people don't really know what the chem is. Like what does it smell like? Fucking like
It's chem.
medicine. Like
I get like rubber, like almost like I don't know, acetone. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, it is, and I think acetone is a good word. It has that like maybe a gas with a more of a harshness.
Yeah, even like a mild hint of body odor.
Yeah. Funk, of course, too, is a big component. If you just say gas with funk, if it's gas with funk, we can
It's
classify
kind of
it as a chem.
Yeah, like truck stop, kind of.
Yeah,
That makes
could ride
me
with
think
that.
camp, like this.
It smells like someone's
Stacks of the
cooking meth
semis
and
and
Yeah, like
gasoline and something not quite right and very like chemically.
yeah, like dirty truckers and like burnt diesel fuel.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Jesse says sorry he's late. So listen, you just
What's up,
yeah,
Jesse?
do 100 push-ups and send us the video.
You're forgiven, man. Just welcome. All right, so we like our chems, obviously, and G3 we know loves her sativas. So now we're all growers, when we talk about our favorite strains, we're gonna have way different answers for you. When we're talking about our favorite strains to grow and then smoke. It's all one. You know what I mean? Like you can't, this is my favorite strain to grow. This is my favorite strain to smoke. It's like, nope, we got to lump them together. For this, when we're talking about our favorite strains, it's all one. Okay. And I think we can break them. I mean, I think we could be fair and say auto and photo too, right? And maybe do like a top 3, because it's not even fair. I've grown so many at this point, like it's fucking.
This is about the purple list.
I got 10 I could think of that it's like how could I name this one without that one, and how could I talk about that one without this one? So if we go to we'll start with autos. Top of the list for me is that strawberry milk and cookies from Night Owl. I think that F1.
F1.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to
F1.
stress that, and I do recall, like when we talked about the F2, casting a little bit of doubt that it was going to be the same animal, and like, man, I think it was a different animal.
Different animal.
But like, the F1, man, was the best fucking auto I've grown, hands down. Right? Like the jar was gone. Like afterwards, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, once I cracked into it, and like just a pleasure to grow, vigorous, frosty, photogenic, smelly, everything you want. Right? And I do want to say, too, I think there is, if he didn't just release it, it's coming, like it's the remix, okay, of that strain, which is the same parents, but like not, like different mother, different father, but same parents, right? Just swapping who's the mom and who's the dad. Technically, that's an F1 again.
Yeah, and that's going to be completely different. Like, it's not going to be the same of what you're used to at all.
You don't think that would be closer to the original F1 than, like, maybe the F2 was?
No, I think it's going to be completely
Really?
different.
Yeah?
I think so.
I'm not a breeder. I don't know.
When I've seen that instance in other genetics, usually it's something completely different, like not what you were expecting at all.
Gotcha. So yeah, we got an answer. Growing the Mitten says it dropped yesterday. Or the drop ended yesterday, and they're totally different phenos. So like, yeah, man, it's what's crazy is that F1 is just kind of like it's elusive, man.
Well, I think Alabrije has the right
elusive as fuck.
idea. Like, it's hard to repeat the magic with others.
Exactly, man.
So, like, because you don't have a clone that you can just go back to and pollinate and work with. So, inevitably, it's going to be harder to carry on generations of autos, F2, F3, F4. You have to just kind of, do your thing and move on,
I think like once, and just based on personal experience too, excuse me, I think once we get to our like F6, F7, F8 type generations where they're like so inbred that the phenotypes are kind of locked in, and you can write up a strain description with accuracy and be like, confidently, this is what you're going to get. There's also a whole host of problems that come along with that too. I mean, lack of vigor being like the number one, I would think, and like maybe smaller plants on the overall, on the average. So, I don't know. Pick your poison. I like those F1s.
I would like to be unique,
So that's right. I think you raise a great point, Monster. Hard to recreate the magic, man. That's why, Alabrije is a smart man. But that F1 or that F1 of that strawberry milk and cookies just, man, really, really brought it home for me. And then, if I had to name a couple more in no particular order, obviously I'm going to say Blues Rosso. Like, that's a standout for sure. Even the F1, which I think comes as like a freebie with something he just released, man. F1 was great. F2 I thought was greater, but you're not going to go wrong with either. And Sour Stomper is another one too I want to mention.
Yeah.
So
Everybody loves Sour Stomper. It's a flagship for a reason.
How about you guys? Autos. What stands out?
For me, right off the bat, my favorite was Manberry Alien Pig. Just
Nice.
loved it. It was a banger.
OG dominant.
Really just kind of knocked me on my ass. And to this day, like when I run into people that I haven't seen in like 3 or 4 years, they're like, "Oh, dude, like you grow that stuff again? Let me know." Everybody loved it. It was just one of those things that just everybody loved it, and it was a pleasure to grow, and it yielded like a motherfucker, dude. Like I don't know, like 14, 15 ounce plants consistently. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they got big for me too. For
Right,
sure.
what else?
Yeah, what
Give
else?
us a couple more.
It's tough.
Probably hasn't grown too many autos, right?
Nah, I've grown plenty of autos. It's
Yeah?
just been a while. Forgotten Cookies was probably my number 2.
I've heard
And
you
then
mention that.
number 3 would be Questionable Grape from Baz, which was just a Mephisto double grape remix that he worked with that I really enjoyed.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Biff, Brothers and Farms, and Baz in particular.
But I got some plans to grow some more autos, so we'll see how that goes.
Cool. Fuck yeah. What about you? I mean, I know what G3 is going to say.
Everybody knows what my number 1 is. It's
Number
easy
1.
peasy. Mango Smile. She's just.
I thought I was going to be the
you know.
White Widow Autoflower from ILGM.
I actually. I grew one from Seedsman, so real close. But that was like my second grow ever.
Seedsman's
that does not
honestly
make the list.
not that bad.
Seedsman's hit or miss.
Terrible.
It's hit or miss. You can find some hidden gems on Seedsman.
Yeah, I grew a Northern Lights from them that turned out beautiful. And a strawberry cheesecake that still has something like over 18,000 likes on it.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, their stuff can be fire. I liked her a lot, enough to keep growing autos. They were my first run with autos.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So, they don't necessarily make my list, though. Who else? Purple. I mean, I have to put Purple Pangerania on the list just because she's so gorgeous and huge and purple, and she smells
we can't do that.
purple.
We're not allowed to do that because you haven't smoked her yet. You have no idea.
Oh, I have to have smoking too. Why, she smells so good. She can't possibly.
I mean, unless it's just like
Everything
out. I mean,
he
just
makes is fire.
I'm
so-
sure it will be, but it's just
don't
like we
All right,
have to
we'll
be.
shelve her for the moment.
You know,
I guess.
all things have to pass the
Plus, it's
smoke
definitely
test.
recency bias, too.
Yeah, that is true. But I really like her. Like, I really like her.
I like her a lot.
I like her a lot. I'm looking at my list here. Like, we're in a lot of stuff that I really like. I mean, okay, how about Alabrije's Tangy Tip Iguana? She's
Yeah,
a classic.
banger.
You know,
Banger.
she was fun to grow. Super tall ballet lady, and then she was a great smoke too. I liked her a lot. I have to mention too I can't think of Aunt Jenny's Elixir. It was my first like real experience with like more than just straight THC because I think it's like it goes anywhere from a 1-to-1 to a 20-to-1. They were aiming for 20-to-1, but she really introduced me to the wide world of cannabinoids, and I have not looked back since. So I appreciate that about her, just because she opened my eyes to the possibilities of what else was out there.
Fuck yeah. I still have yet to grow a non-THC strain, so I'll get there one day.
It's an experience.
I'll do it.
You'll never fucking do it.
I'll do it. But all right, just a couple other. I know. I say I will, but I probably won't. Let's be real. And guys, I'm the first one that'll tell you about the entourage effect, okay? But like, do I really believe that like CBD will like get me psychoactively like high and euphoric in the same way that like a THC based strain will? Like, no, I don't.
But holding hands, like good friends do, the two of them together can.
Okay, fair enough. So I need like a 20-to-1, not a 1-to-1.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
It's just definitely something to experience, and like
I would agree with
didn't
that.
like I liked her well enough. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is the best strain. I don't know if I'd grow her again, but just experiencing that difference for the first time was different. So now I'm like, oh, let's try some of these.
Cool. Yeah. Again, I'm probably never going to do that. Just being real with you.
Next time I grow one, I'll just give you
I like
some.
to say that I will, and I just probably fucking won't. But like, I'd love to try it. I really would. But just a few other names of autos off the top of my head. Man, Orange Diesel, phenomenal. Sage Scout, phenomenal. Man, now I'm getting a mental block now. Judy Gemstone, phenomenal. Cosmic Queen, phenomenal.
Ooh.
Galaxy Brain, phenomenal.
I grew a Cosmic Queen Mango Smile cross that was like amazing.
Yeah, they're all great. I
Flower
mean, all
amazing.
those Cosmic Queen ones on another level, sativa wise.
Cosmic Queen. We need her back. Is somebody working on that project? There's got to be Cosmic
I'm
Queens out there
sure
somewhere.
there
Whoever
are,
has
but-
those beans, you have a responsibility.
Like suntan lotion terps. like a creamy tropical kind of vibe. Very nice. So yeah, let's transition to to photos. You know, I mean, I can't say I've grown like as many as I have autos in the photo realm, but like, you know, the blueberry for me, like from Joint, was like top of my list. I mean, I've grown some blueberry children, like you say, mango babies. We'll call them blueberry babies. Grown blueberry children, like the Violet Beauregard. Yeah, that it's just like anything that thing touches is amazing. I know I've seen a lot of people out there posting on the Discord their blueberry grows, so they look great. Keep them up, guys. Yeah, that for me was probably my favorite so far.
I actually feel more passionate about photos. Like, my feelings about my photos in general are stronger than my feelings about my autos. Maybe it's just I've grown so many more autos and I'm just like, meh for most of them besides Mango Smile. But I can name like 3 great ones right off the bat that I love, love, love. Like, first one, Gloria, my cherry diesel bag seed. She was the first plant I ever grew. She's going to be the queen forever.
Is that the one that like overgrew the tent and...
Yes. She challenged me in every way a grower can be challenged. I learned so much in those months.
Got thrips too?
Oh, yep. I got aphids first and then spider mites.
Oh, God.
She outgrew the tent and I had to like refashion a tent for her with the light hanging in the rafters. And of course she re-vegged after that. Of course she did. I mean, why wouldn't she? So it was just, she was absolutely huge. I super cropped her multiple times. It was just so much learning going on.
Well, because the tent wasn't light proof anymore, right?
Much. Right. Because I had like blankets and stuff hanging in. She was in my basement and she was supposed to be on 1212.
Fucking
And it was summertime in Pennsylvania. So it was just, I learned so much from her and she will be the queen forever because of that. And then, Alice was my peppermint kush. I don't remember who she's from.
Wasn't that
Barney's Farm.
Do you still have that around?
I was just gonna say.
I have one seed. One mystery seed from her.
One bean.
Well, I remember you worked hard to re-veg it. I didn't know if you kept them around.
I re-vegged it and then I tried every single time I cloned her probably 4 or 5 times and tried pollinating her each time, tried reversing her each time, and then it just it didn't work. Whatever I was doing, it just wasn't working. I was following the directions exactly like I was supposed to. I read everything about it. I tried so many different ways and she just refused. And she was really fun because she had a fasciated bud as well, and I wanted to see if it was genetic or if it was a virus or whatever that was causing it. So I really wanted her to continue, and she didn't. And then I mysteriously end up with one seed in a grinder from her.
Oh, that's what it... So are you sure it was like a self-pollination?
I'm not. But the only other thing that could have pollinated it at that time was Tangy Tibaguana. And I always went to her tent first before going to the other one. And you guys know how nuts I am about cleanliness in my grow room. So, like, I don't transfer from, like, a flowering tent to a non-flowering tent. Or from one flowering tent to another. It just doesn't. So I don't know where it's from. It's mystery. But I loved her. She was really fun. I wanted to keep her. It didn't work. She was like black purple.
Yeah.
So dark. That one.
Had like a spicy, almost
peppery,
mentholy kind of quality. Yeah, like peppermint.
It was like black pepper and then mint. It was a really unusual thing. I loved her.
Perfectly named. Gotta love when that happens sometimes.
Yep. And then Joint blueberry limeade.
Boom. Anything that blueberry touches, man. I know. I got to try that blueberry OJ. That's one I've been hearing people rave about.
She's very, very orangey. So if you like orangey,
Well, yeah, because it has that.
if you love those, it is very much that.
It's happy weed too.
Yeah,
I enjoyed smoking it.
what is his shit? What is his strain? That's crossed with blueberry. I can't fucking think of it
Cushion
now.
OJ?
Yes, Cushion OJ is. I've grown that one, and dude, that one was like almost too orange to be orange. It was like
Yeah, I
it was
think
like
the blueberry
orange.
mellows it, but it's not very blueberry. At least mine
Gotcha.
wasn't. Other people's may be, but mine was not. Mine was just
Yeah, I would
very
imagine those orange terps outweigh the blueberry for sure, because the orange was like oven cleaner orange, like fucking acrid, zesty orange.
intense. Yeah, like zest. Mm-hmm. Oil. Super
Yeah,
strong.
oil, orange oil. But yeah, really nice too, man. Gotta. It's on my list. What about you, Monster?
For me, my number one will still probably always be Slurricane, even though I won't grow it again. It was a banger for me, man. Kind of like really coma weed, just tasted great. It always grew great. Never had any issues with it. Number two for me, probably a big surprise. I'm gonna go with Lemon Carver.
Kava.
I just
Lava.
That's another one that I don't think I can really ever get sick of. At least, not anytime soon. And then number three, I'm gonna go with Supreme Leader by Joint.
Fuck yeah.
I really enjoyed the smoke on that one as well. It really, it sucks to sit because I was growing it outdoors this year. I wanted to see how it would do outdoors, and I lost my whole crop. So that's a bummer.
Yeah, it is.
But it's kind of my fault for trying to. That was stupid of me to try to grow a strain that flowered that long outdoors. But I'll run it again indoors. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Anything really, Joint's one of my favorite breeders. Friend of the show, obviously, but like, man, anything he touches, he's been working like for years. That's like kind of one of the things that like drew me to him. It's not just like hype drops and breeding fire with fire, so it should be fire, right? It's like, no, he fucking like grows them himself. Like, he'll show you pictures. You want to see the parents of like what the box he sent you? Like,
Yep.
he'll send you pictures.
So many things.
That's a different level of like interaction with your breeder that I experience and kind of now expect. It's like when you don't get it from other people, it's like, wait, but I posted pictures and tagged him in them. We're not like on a personal relationship level now. Why not?
Unfortunately, it's not the way it works.
I know. Not with all of them, for sure. But yeah. So Slurricane, you mentioned, like, is that the number 7 pheno?
Yeah.
All right, just had to check. Slurricane number 7. Interestingly enough, one of the strains up in my overgrown tent is in the back right corner, right next to the fucking hurricane oscillating fan. It's definitely got some windburn on the leaves, but the buds themselves are looking fine. Some of the pistils have oranged a little bit. Like, I know there's been no pollination. The buds that are growing do not appear to have any seeds in them. It's just from the wind. But they will continue to grow. They'll be fine. I've dealt with this before. So
I mean, it's like almost like them being touched, right? If the wind is strong enough and close enough, it's like being physically touched.
And what strain is this you're talking about?
Pretty much. So what brought it up was it's a cross between Sour Diesel and Slurricane. It's
Oh,
called
that sounds phenomenal.
Diesel Frost. Yeah, from like Exclusive Genetics, I think.
Yeah, the
out of New York.
Slurricane definitely brings the frost. I've never seen anything like it before. Like, just frost everywhere on the fan leaves, obviously the sugar leaves, going up the stem. Yeah,
I think that's just crazy when leaves start getting it like on the stems.
Yeah.
Of leaves. That
Yeah,
blows my
they
mind
start
when that
curling and
happens.
shit from like the trichrome coverage. Yeah, I love
It's
it.
just crazy.
So yeah, no, but like so, and interestingly enough too, right? This is the one. I got a lot of skunks and a lot of sours in this tent, and like it's a lot of old school type smells. I mean, the skunks are definitely. I wouldn't say they smell like skunk, but they smell putrid. I can't think of the like. When I think of the comparison, I will let you know. The one that is the outlier is that Diesel Frost. And why? Because it's got cookies in the lineage. It fucking smells like cookies. It's like I took one whiff of, I'm just like, oh, cookies right there on the nose.
Do you find yourself disappointed when you run into that?
Not honestly, no, because it's like I like it. I do. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
Even when
smell.
you're not expecting it, even when you're, I mean, with something that says like Diesel Frost, I wouldn't go in being like, ooh, cookies.
Right, like I would have thought,
You
like
might.
maybe some sour will develop, like as we go. We'll see. But like the initial, initial smell, like 4.5, 5 weeks in, a lot of cookies. But no, like I like it. I still do.
Good.
If I was trying to avoid it, I wouldn't have grown a strain with it in there. I guess it was interesting to me to see if it would show up, or if like the sour would dominate. But cookies right there up front. Mm-hmm. Still great though. Looking forward to that one. And we'll talk more, about the skunks and the sours on shit next week's episode. We're out of time. But before we go, I do want to say thank you to you guys, to our listeners, to our Patreons, to people up in our Discord, just the community as a whole. Like, you guys are fucking awesome, really.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. The community is what it's all about. I enjoy helping people, getting this plant in everybody's hands, having them grow their own medicine. That's what it's about.
Right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, and interaction, like we love it, guys. If you're listening out there, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but if you're just a lurker, you've never thought about joining the Discord, you don't know what it means, find me on Instagram or something, man. Just email me, cautautoflower@gmail.com. Right? Comes right into my phone. If you have a question, I'll get back to you. I'm a real person. I just, like Masta said, we just want to help people. So,
yep, our website has all our contact information. And
there you go, our website.
So,
yep, Cultivation Conversation.
Just search for Cultivation Conversation.
Yep, comes right up in Google.
Hell yeah.
Brings you right to the site, which will get you to all our podcast episodes, our Discord, merch.
Yeah.
Coupon codes.
Go grab a sweatshirt for the cold weather, a beanie. And sign up for the Patreon too. If you got a little bit of extra income, you want to help support the show, we appreciate it a hell of a lot. So yeah, guys. And anything final you want to?
I don't think so. We made it through eclipse season. Congratulations, everybody. It's going to be smooth sailing, hopefully, for a little bit. Next Mercury retrograde isn't until December. So get your shit lined up, knocked down now.
Yeah, I got one thing I want to say. Holiday season is approaching. Don't be a douchebag. That's it.
Great advice. Fuck yeah.
I mean, you're a human being. Don't be a douchebag.
If you are a douchebag, then just stuff it way down inside and try to keep it there for at least a couple months now.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thanks, man. Till next time. Set up your carbon filters, your Australian virgin carbon filters.
Yeah, none of that American slut carbon.
And don't get caught. Peace out.